Hola chicos, bienvenidos a Spanish with Profe. Today I will be reading Juventud Divino Tesoro by Nicaraguan poet Rubén Darío. Hoy voy a compartir con ustedes el poema Juventud Divino Tesoro by Rubén Darío, quien nació en Nicaragua. Rubén Darío es un poeta modernista. Rubén Darío was a modernist poet from Nicaragua. ¿Listos, chicos? ¿Ready? Vamos a comenzar. Let's begin. Juventud Divino Tesoro, por Rubén Darío. Juventud Divino Tesoro, ya te vas para no volver. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro y a veces lloro sin querer. Esa es la primera estrofa. Juventud. Juventud means youthfulness. Divino tesoro, divine treasure. Ya te vas para no volver. You're leaving now to never return. Cuando quiero llorar, lloro. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro y a veces lloro sin querer. Whenever I feel like crying, I don't cry, but sometimes I cry just because. Plural ha sido la celeste historia de mi corazón. Era una dulce niña en este mundo de duelo y de aflicción. So in poetry, you can like switch adjectives. That's the liberty that the poet has to create new words or to work with the syntax and just move things around. They still make sense to make it more poetic. Plural ha sido la celeste historia de mi corazón. Celeste asociado con el cielo, with the sky, blue. So, en este sentido, celeste is when you're kind of sad, when you're feeling blue, like we say it in English, the winter blues. Plural ha sido la celeste, so many things have affected his life, especially his love life. La historia de mi corazón. Corazón, tum, 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 tum. Era una dulce niña. He was a sweet young girl, young woman. En este mundo de duelo y de aflicción. In this world of affliction and pain, duelo. Duelo is like a duel, like back in the day where you want to take care of business. You say, okay, meet me tomorrow. And we're going to hacer un duelo. Pa, 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 pa. But duelo is also when you lose someone, when they pass away, uno está de duelo o de luto. Sigamos. Miraba como el alba pura, sonreía como una flor, era su cabellera oscura, hecha de noche y de dolor. So in here, he's going to use the imperfect to describe. Miraba como el alba pura. El alba is morning when the sun is coming up. The sunrise, el alba. Pura, pure. So alba signifies something pure. The day. Sonreía como una flor. She will smile like a flower. Sonreía. Era su cabellera oscura. Cabellera is talking about the hair. Cabellera oscura. Hecha de noche y de dolor. Made by the night, which is dark, y de dolor, which is pain. Dolor. In this case, dolor is acting as a noun. Yo era tímido como un niño. Ella naturalmente fue, para mi amor, hecho de armiño, Herodías y Salomé. So in here there's intertextuality. But what do I mean by that? By intertextuality, I mean la intertextualidad es alusión a otras obras que el artista, en este caso Rubén Darío, asume que nosotros como lectores are aware of. So, Herodias y Salomé are biblical characters. So, let me go back. Yo era tímido como un niño. I was timid as a child. In this case, un niño signifies a male, a boy, un niño. Ella naturalmente fue para mi amor hecho de Arminio, Herodías y Salomé. She naturally was to my love like Herodías y Salomé. These are the ones that Salomé asked for the head of John the Baptist. Ella pidió la cabeza de Juan el Bautista. Eso se encuentra en el Nuevo Testamento. You'll find that in the New Testament, if you want to know where they come from. So, esa es una intertextualidad. This is an intertextuality. So, an allusion to another literary work. Let's move on to the next stanza, la próxima estrofa. Juventud, divino tesoro, ya te vas para no volver. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro, y a veces lloro sin querer. Youth, divine treasure, you're leaving to never return. When I feel like crying, I don't cry, but there are times when I just cry sin querer, just because it just happens. And that is against to the allusion de lo celeste. Celeste, also like celestial being, but in this case, we're talking about the sky, and the sky is blue. That also is connected to your emotions when you're feeling blue, the winter blues. Okay, pues, muy bien, sigamos. Y más consoladora y más halagadora y expresiva, la otra fue más sensitiva, cual no pensé encontrar jamás. So now, like in this poem, he's describing his different love affairs that he had with different women in his life, with a different person. This one was más consoladora y más halagadora y expresiva. So this other human being was more, will consult him, like mimarlo, treat him well. Halagadora means like she will say good things. Halagar is like to praise somebody. Y expresiva, she will be very expressive. The other one was more sensitive. Like I will never have thought I will find somebody. La otra. So when he using la, that is the direct object pronoun referring to that person, the other one that came into his life. Pues a su continua ternura una pasión violenta unía. But even though this person was tender, she had una pasión violenta. She was very volatile, passionate. Violenta unía. She had passion, but she was volatile. En un peplo de gasa pura, una vacante se envolvía. So even though this person was most comforting, will give him words of comfort, it was in that person the tension to be violent. En un peplo de gasa pura, una vacante se envolvía. So gas. So you can allude to gas. Los gases pueden ser dañinos. Gas could hurt you, just like what happened in Ohio recently with the explosion of the train and all those fumes that are affecting people. And they're not doing anything. Apparently now they're like, it's business as usual, but that in the end is going to affect your lungs and your health. So I don't know what these political figures who are in government are doing, but they should take care of the people. Let's move on. En sus brazos tomó mi ensueño y lo arrulló como a un bebé. Y te mató, triste y pequeño, falto de luz, falto de fe. En sus brazos, in her arms, she took my ensueño. Ensueño is like kind of like dreams, ensueño. Y lo arrulló like when you hold the baby and then you put him to sleep. Arrurru mi niño, arrurru, yeah. Something like that. When you cradle the baby in your arms, okay? Y te mató, triste y pequeño, falto de luz, falto de fe. But then it died, sad and small. It was missing light, falto de luz, falto de fe, missing faith. Juventud, divino tesoro, te fuiste para no volver. And now we're going to see a twist, un cambio. Because remember at the beginning it said, ya te vas para nunca volver. And in this one it says, juventud, divino tesoro, te fuiste para no volver. Now we see the verb in the past. Te fuiste from the verb ir a. So, te fuiste para no volver. You left to never return. While at the beginning was, ya te vas para no volver. But this one is, youth, you already left. And you're never going to come back. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro. Y a veces lloro sin querer. So, once again, and then that repeats itself. But notice the twist. Te fuiste para no volver. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro. Y a veces lloro sin querer. Moving on, since I already mentioned what that means. I'm not going to repeat that again. Muy bien. Otra juzgó que era mi boca el estuche de su pasión y que me roería loca con sus dientes el corazón. So now he's going to move on to a different person that came into his life. Otra juzgó que era mi boca el estuche de su pasión. So another one judge, that my mouth, mi boca, era estuche de su pasión. Estuche is like it's a kind of like a where you will put your pencils, like a pouch, un estuche. Also like where you put your glasses to keep them safe. Un estuche de su pasión. So once again, this other human being that came into his life had a lot of passion. Y que me roería loca con sus dientes el corazón. Roer con los dientes. Roer is like morder. Así, suavecito, roer. Loca con sus dientes el corazón. Her teeth were gonna chew through my heart, el corazón. Poniendo en un amor poniendo en un amor de exceso la mira de su voluntad. Mientras eran abrazo y beso, síntesis de la eternidad. So this one was extremely lovable, putting too much love. Abrazo is eran abrazo y beso. She was lovey, kisses and hugs. Síntesis de la Trinidad, like an eternity synthesis. And then, let's move on. Y de nuestra carne ligera, imaginar siempre un Edén, sin pensar que la primavera y la carne acaban también. So in this one, she was all lovey, and then he's like, she forgot that just like seasons change, we as humans will change. He says, de nuestra carne ligera, he's talking about the flesh, ligera, light. Imaginar siempre un Edén, our bodies will transform. But sometimes when we're at the moment, we think that we're eternal. This imaginar siempre un Edén. Imagining always an Eden, the paradise. Without thinking que la primavera, without thinking about spring, without thinking that spring and flesh will also change. In here, we're talking about la muerte, death. Let's move on. Juventud, divino tesoro, ya te vas para no volver. And then you notice that now again, he went back to the present. Ya te vas para no volver. You're leaving to never return. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro, y a veces lloro sin querer. So this is the stanza that keeps repeating itself. But if you notice, many times it's in the present, but that one time that I just finished earlier, and 2 stanzas before, it was in the past. Ya te fuiste. Y las demás, and the other ones, en tantos climas, en tantas tierras, siempre son, sino pretextos de mis rimas, fantasmas de mi corazón. So in this poem, he only talked about some of his lovers, some of those women who came into his life. But he says, and the other ones? In different, and Rubén Darío, I forgot to mention that Rubén Darío was a well-known, it is still a well-known poet, and he traveled throughout the world. Viajó alrededor del mundo y obviamente era un enamorado, hasta cierto sentido mujeriego, like he had a lot of women. So por eso dice, y las demás, and the other ones. En tantos climas, in this he's alluding to the different countries that he had lived, and en tantos climas, different weather. Because Nicaragua está en Centroamérica, en el hemisferio norte, pero es un clima tropical, but since he traveled different places, hay diferentes climas, como las 4 estaciones, el invierno, la primavera, el verano y el otoño. 4 estaciones, con sus diferencias, pero muy bien, sigamos. En tantas tierras siempre son, in many different lands they are. Si no pretextos de mis rimas, fantasmas de mi corazón. He says that all these people who have come into his life appear in his poetry, but if not in his poetry, in his lyric, in his lírica, en sus versos, in his verses, fantasmas de mi corazón, they are ghosts in his heart. They're always there, lingering there. Because when you fall in love, when you have a relationship, you will always keep something in your mind about that person. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Cuando te enamoras y luego termina esa relación, tú siempre guardarás en ti lo bueno, lo malo y lo feo. Y es lo que dice él. Y siempre aparecerán, si eres un escritor o escritora, aparecerán en tus versos, o si no, serán fantasmas en tu vida, en tu corazón. There's 3 more stanzas to go. En vano busqué a la princesa que estaba triste de esperar. And in here, this is an allusion to one of his other literary work. Está triste la niña, y porque Rubén Darío hablaba sobre castillos y princesas. Rubén Darío, in his writing, he also had a stage in his life in which he will talk about princesses and castles, and that's an allusion to that. He says, en vano busqué, it was in vain that I looked for the princess that was sad of waiting. La vida es dura, life is hard, amarga y pesa, bitter and is heavy. Ya no hay princesa que encantar. There's no longer a princess to sing to. Ya no hay princesa que cantar. La vida es dura, amarga y pesa. Those are very strong words. Life is hard, amarga, bitter, y pesa, and is heavy. Because we have tribulations in life. Pero let's move on. Mas a pesar del tiempo, terco, mi sed de amor no tiene fin. Con el cabello gris me acerco a los rosales del jardín. Now we see old age now. Mas a pesar del tiempo, even with time, del tiempo terco, like terco, is like hard-headed. Mi sed de amor no tiene fin. My love, my thirst for love has no end. Con el cabello gris. So este es cabello negro. Cabello gris is when you get your silver hair, when you get older. And you start showing that. Las canas. Muy bien. Your grace, las canas en español. Me acerco a los rosales del jardín. So even after you have been heartbroken, people have used and abused you, or maybe you have used and abused them, you still are in search for love. El amor, la luz del amor nunca se acaba. A pesar de lo bueno y lo malo y lo feo, siempre hay una razón por seguir y ese es el amor, ¿verdad? Me acerco a los rosales del jardín. He says, like, even at my old age, I'm still searching for love. Even with my gray hair, I do that. And I come to the rose bushes, al jardín, to the garden. Juventud, divino tesoro, ya te vas para no volver. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro, y a veces lloro sin querer. Más es mía el alba de oro. Y este es el fin de ese gran poeta con estos grandes versos. And this is the end of my reading, but I'm going to continue talking a little bit more. Juventud, divino tesoro, ya te vas para no volver. If you notice, it's just like the beginning, because life is a circle. You are born, you have your childhood, tu niñez, luego tu adolescencia, your teenage years, luego la madurez, your young years, and then la vejez, your old age, y luego la muerte, and at the end, death. So, del polvo al polvo volvemos. So, from dust to dust, we'll go back to that. Ya te vas para no volver. Cuando quiero llorar, no lloro. Whenever I want to cry, I don't cry. And sometimes lloro sin querer. And sometimes I cry. Just because. Más es mía el alba de oro. Más, in this case, is más without tilde. That means but. Es mía. It is mine. The morning light. Lo que él llama el oro. So, lo que significa que hay que disfrutar de la vida en este momento. En otro día yo compartiré 2 poemas de la época del barroco. So we're going to go back. So this is 19th century, so the 1800s. But I'm going to talk about el siglo XVII, the 1600, Góngora de España, y Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz de Mexico, but during that time it was Nueva España, because it was under the dominion of the Spanish crown. This was during colonialismo. Colonialism. Espero, chicos, que les haya gustado este poema de Rubén Darío, el gran poeta nicaragüense conocido mundialmente. Well, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed me reading this beautiful poem about youth and the fact that life is short, but you should enjoy life. Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias por su tiempo y no se les olvide de hacerle like y compartir, y hasta pronto. Thank you for joining Spanish with Profe. Ciao, ciao.